At 1:30 hours on August 21, 1942, Colonel Kyono Ichiki crouched in the darkness at the edge of a coconut grove on Guadalcanal. He commanded 900 elite Japanese soldiers, veterans hardened by years of combat in China, believed the coming battle would last less than 2 hours. The humid night air was suffocating, mosquitoes swarmed, and the smell of rotting vegetation mixed with the salt of the nearby ocean. Across a shallow tidal lagoon known to the Americans as Alligator Creek, the enemy waited. Ichiki was certain they would not be there for long. Japanese intelligence had long concluded that Americans were soft, pampered by wealth, raised on Hollywood movies, and jazz music with no warrior tradition, no code of honor, and no willingness to sacrifice for a greater cause, official reports even described. U.S. soldiers as effeminate and cowardly. Ichiki himself repeated these words to his officers, assuring them that the battle would be swift and decisive. But what happened over the next 17 hours would shatter everything. The Japanese military believed about American fighting men. By sunset, 800 of Ichiki's soldiers lay dead. His elite regiment ceased to exist as a fighting force, and the myth of Japanese invincibility was broken in the blood-soaked sands of Guadalcanal. The arrogance of Ichiki's arrogance was not new. 5 years earlier, at the Marco Polo Bridge near Beijing, he had escalated a minor incident into a full-scale confrontation, sparking the Second Sino-Japanese War. His aggressive spirit was rewarded, and by 1942 he commanded the 28th Infantry Regiment. His men were disciplined, battle-hardened, and believed defeat was unthinkable. When ordered to recapture the airfield on Guadalcanal, Ichiki refused to wait for reinforcements. He believed his 900 men were enough to sweep the Americans into the sea. The Marines of Guadalcanal, but the Americans were not what Ichiki imagined. On August 7, 1942, 11,000 U.S. Marines had landed on Guadalcanal, Tulagi, and Florida Islands. They captured the airfield the Japanese had been building. These were not construction workers or weak recruits. They were the 1st Marine Division under Major General Alexander Vandegrift Chung, disciplined and determined to prove themselves after the attack on Pearl Harbor. They dug in along Alligator Creek, positioning machine guns, mortars, and artillery. They endured the tropical heat, the swarms of insects, and the uncertainty of battle. They were ready. The Battle of Alligator Creek on the night of August 21st, Ichiki launched his attack. His soldiers advanced in waves, confident the Americans would break. But instead, they met disciplined rifle fire, devastating machine guns, and precise artillery. The Marines held their ground, refusing to retreat. Hour after hour, the Japanese charged, only to be cut down. By dawn, the battlefield was littered with bodies. By noon, Ichiki's regiment was annihilated. The colonel himself would later take his own life, unable to face the shame of defeat. The turning point in this battle was more than a tactical victory. It was the first major U.S. ground victory against Japan in World War II. It proved that American soldiers were not weak, not cowardly, but resilient, determined, and willing to fight for freedom. Guadalcanal became the turning point of the Pacific War, the moment when the tide began to shift. Conclusion and call to action, the story of Guadalcanal is the story of courage, sacrifice, and the indomitable spirit of the United States Marines. Against arrogance and overwhelming odds, they stood firm and proved to the world that America would never bow to tyranny, supreme front. If you believe this story deserves to be remembered, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and follow 4 more powerful stories of history and heroism. Together, let's keep the memory of these brave men alive.